What's up, guys? Kool-Aid here, and today we're going to be talking about semi-auto sniper rifles and scout rifles. I'm going to try to do everything I can to fill you guys in on just exactly what these guns are all about, and make sure you're not spending the certs in your certs in the wrong spot. So first off, let's talk about scout rifles. There are two scout rifles for each empire. There is a semi-auto scout rifle and a fully auto scout rifle. Now, the fully auto, which include the Stalker for the NC, the Artemis for the VS, and the SOAS-20 for the Terran Republic, all share the exact same stats, aside from bullet drop for the Vanu doesn't exist. You know, that's their trademark. Other than that, they do 143 damage per shot at 652 rounds per minute. Now, this kind of puts them on par with other classes, low damage, high rate of fire weapons. The two different things that kind of differentiate these guns from those, however, is that the 143 damage will not drop off on these rifles. It's going to do the same damage whether you're standing right next to somebody or whether you're 100 meters away. So that's actually a plus. The big downside with these scout rifles, or with these fully auto scout rifles, is that they only hold 20 rounds, or 20 rounds per magazine. Now, typically with high rate of fire, low damage weapons, you're going to get bigger magazines. That's kind of how the Terran Republic whole weapon scheme works. So this is kind of an oddity, and they don't want to... I can see where they're coming from. They don't really want to give the Infiltrator a fully auto weapon on the same level as the other classes. I can understand that. And if you're actually playing Infiltrator right, you shouldn't really need more than 20 rounds. You shouldn't be facing multiple enemies at the same time, or multiple enemies head-on, face-to-face anyway. That's just not how Infiltrator is built, and you're not going to win many fights if you're trying to do that. Now, as for the semi-auto scout rifles, which include the Shadow for the NC, the Nyx for the VS, and the HSR-1 for the Terran Republic, these are going to do 334 damage per shot, so almost 200 damage per shot more than the fully auto scout rifles, and these fire at 260 rounds per minute. So these are actually a lot more comparable to the semi-auto snipers than to the actual fully auto scout, even though these are classified as scout rifles. And again, these all share the same stats aside from the bullet drop, which the Vanu have none. Now, as far as the actual bullet drop and velocity for these weapons, the bullet drop is rated at 11.25. To compare that to something, the bolt actions are rated at 7.5. So these are going to drop quite a bit more, not twice as much, but somewhere in between there. Shouldn't matter much, though, because you're not going to be shooting at really long ranges with these weapons. The bullet velocity is rated at 500, which is on par with the low zoom bolt actions, but isn't near as much as the high zoom bolt actions like the SR7, V10, and LA80, which makes sense. It shouldn't be, and again, you're not going to be shooting at long range with these weapons, so it's not going to matter as much. Alright, so let's talk about the semi-auto snipers. And they do, for the most part, share the same stats. However, the Vanu, again, aren't going to have any bullet drop. And they do have different bullet velocities. The VA-39, the Phantom, and the Impetus do have a bullet velocity of 500, so on the same scale as the low zoom bolt actions and the scout rifles. However, the 99 SV, the Gauss SPR, and the KSR-35 are going to have slightly higher bullet velocity at 550. However, when deciding which semi-auto sniper you're going to use, the bullet velocity isn't really going to come into play. It's going to be what kind of optics you want to use. Each faction, like I said, has two semi-auto snipers. One is going to have high zoom optics, one is going to have low zoom optics. Low zoom being anything from 1x to 4x, where high zoom being anything from 6x to 12x. And the high zoomer is going to be the 99 SV, the VA-39 Spectre, and the Gauss SPR. Low zoom is going to be the KSR-35, the Phantom, and the Impetus. Now, all these weapons do the same damage at 400 damage per shot. Once again, these have no damage drop-off, so 5 feet away to 100 meters plus, they're going to do the same exact damage. It's going to be 400. These fire at 231 rounds per minute. And these actually all have a 7.5 drop, same as the bolt actions. So they have less drop than the scout rifles. Alright, so add up all the stats, and what does all this mean? Well, pretty much, I think an Infiltrator only needs two rifles. They need a long distance killing machine, and in my opinion, there's only one way to go there. That is a bolt action, whether it be a cheap bolt action or an expensive bolt action. That's the only way to go for long distance sniping, in my opinion. And then the other rifle they need is something for close quarters. Now, my personal favorite, and this is just my favorite, there's no right or wrong here. I love the Stalker. I love the fully auto scout. It's just what I like the best, and I'll tell you guys exactly why. The semi-auto scout and the semi-auto snipers are not bad guns. They just don't really have a spot in my game. I'm either all long range or I have that ability to close the gap and get in short range, where I think the semi-auto or the fully auto scout shines over the semi-auto scout or semi-auto sniper. Anything beyond 75 yards, give me a bolt action. I will much rather have the ability to get a one-hit kill headshot than anything else. Inside that range, like I said, you're an infiltrator. You have the ability to close the gap without people seeing you. You can pick and choose your fights more than any other class in the game. So, in my opinion, the fully auto scout way outshines the other weapons in point blank range, and that's where you should be doing most of your killing as an infiltrator if you're not sniping. So anyways, guys, this is just my opinion. No right or wrong here. There is nothing wrong with the semi-autos. One thing to keep in mind, however, if you are going the route of the semi-auto, the scout rifle, the semi-auto scout, you can actually get anywhere from a 1x to a 6x optic for that, where if you do go with the semi-auto sniper, you're going to either have to choose from a 1x to a 4x sniper or from a 6x to a 12x sniper. So you get a little more variance with the scout rifle. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. But pretty much that's all I got, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope this cleared up some things. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.